Like, you're willing to go broke to become rich.
And this is what I want contractors to start thinking about themselves, because most contractors don't have the confidence that I do.
It's the worst thing that can happen. Why not go all in on the unknown?
And what our best contractors are doing now, Lance, they're...
Everybody, welcome back to Exit Rich Podcast. I got a special guest for you today, Ismael Valdez. He literally sold his company. He sold his first company, his HVAC company. We're talking about how he built that, leveraged everything, sold it. You sold it to Champion, correct?
Wrench Group.
Wrench Group, sold to the Wrench Group. Then he said, I'm going to go all in on Nuva, right? And the guy's social media handle is, I think, close to mine. Not as good as mine, but he's up there, right? And
we could have a good debate about it.
A good debate. You know, seriously, congratulations, first of all, on all your success. You know, you're self-made, right? And introduce yourself real fast for people that don't know you real fast. And we're going to talk about a lot of different stuff today.
So look, my name is Ismael Valdez. I'm a contractor at heart. I started two air conditioning and plumbing businesses, but I started in a different way. Most people, are technicians or sales reps or installers, and they kind of grow for themselves from there to in the operation. I actually started as a counter guy, selling equipment to contractors like myself now. Air conditioning and plumbing. Contractors who would go to our supply house and they would buy equipment, buy parts from us, and I would cater to them. And I grew a really, really tight bond with all these contractors, installers, technicians, sales guys would go in there and ask questions about equipment. And that was like my initial part of it. I was there for like 6 years. I worked for a company called Howard Industry for 6 years. And, that's what got me into the industry. And after I got into the industry, I latched on, man.
What made you go out on your own? Like, what was the turning point? And you weren't an HVAC guy, like you weren't a contractor. So like,
dude,
what made you go out on your own?
You know what it was, Lance? Like the curiosity, that me asking questions to these contractors. Like, I would always be like, man, like,
there's water right there for you.
How much did you, they would come in and be like, hey, let me get a 3-ton system, outflow, furnace condenser and coil, and all the miscellaneous, right? And I'll be like, I would look at the ticket and I'd be like, man, these guys are buying it for like $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 for everything. And I'm like, hey, bro, like, how much did you sell that for? And I would just ask different contractors, different sizes, and they would be like, oh, I sold it for 9, I sold it for 8, I sold it for 12, I sold it for 14, and it's the same system over and over. And that's what got me intrigued. I'm like, man, these guys are thinking way too small, Lance. Like, these guys are doing 1 or 2 installs a week, even 1 or 2 installs a day. And to me, the curiosity of always asking, like, what does this look like when you're doing 50 installs a day or 100 installs a day or whatever a day, right? And that's what got me intrigued on it. And as soon as I started seeing like how the operation flew, my first operation that we grew was Home Comfort USA. It was me and Ken started that with 0 employees, got it up to a little bit over 20 million in revenue in 4 years. We had a bad partnership go bad in 2016, late 16. And that's after that, that's when we started the next gen air conditioning. So if that bad partnership would have never happened, which I'm sure, us as contractors, we've all had that one bad partner or that one bad employee.
It might not even be bad. It just might not be for you.
Exactly. Right. So I look back at it now, and I learned a lot. I was there for 4 years inside that operation, and I got to learn what it takes to go from a marketing cost to collecting revenue. And that was my initial fund, like my initial...
I love how you said, he said it one more time, from a marketing call to collecting revenue. I love that.
It is.
I mean, that might be the most simplest way someone's ever talked to my podcast. Like, that's like dumbing it down to a first grade let's. I'm not trying to disrespect you, but like, you simplified that.
That is the level of simplicity my mind works at. That's the level of simplicity.
So next gen, right? Let's just call it what it is. You sold that to the Wrench Group for... Can you say how much?
Yeah, a little bit over 100.
A little over 100. You had a 9. I never had a 9 exit figure. I'm very transparent. I mean, I sold for hundreds of millions, 6 different companies, but I never had 1 9.
You paid over 100 already. They still, I rolled a bunch of equity back in there.
Would you have?
So worst case scenario, it's a little bit over 100. Best case scenario, it's a little bit over 150.
I mean, so that's enough. But the one thing about you is this, though, is you put it all on the line. Like, you almost went bankrupt.
Yep.
You're self-made. I'm not, unless and I think you know me, I have no ounce of racism in me, so we had this conversation, right? Well, I never try to hurt anyone. I do owe me.
Probably one of the dopest dudes in the industry, buyer.
You're an immigrant.
Yep.
I'm assuming you're Spanish?
Yep. I was born in Mexico.
Okay, so does that make you Mexican? I'm just telling you. So you're Mexican. You come here, you build a company, you sell for $100 million. You're a legend. The hero. The guys like they think you're. And you have people here hating America that are fucking born here, and you came here.
Wait, tell them they're the stupidest people in this world. Honestly, you can never hate America. It's the land of opportunities. How can you hate that?
So I'm assuming you didn't go to college.
Yep, I didn't go to college.
You did not go to college?
No.
So I just want you, I'm trying to put everyone through here that the Extroverts podcast, you take a company, 20 million, you break up with your partner. I don't want to call in bad because just shit doesn't work out sometimes.
It doesn't work out. We didn't.
Yeah, CI, whatever. You go and you sell for $100+ million to the French group, which is a great acquisition. Great company.
One of the best private equity groups out there.
For sure. I can't say a bad word about them. You're worth a shit ton of money. You never got to work again. But you come out with Nuva that I want to talk to you about. I love the fact that you wear your hat. I love the fact that you wear your brain. I love the fact that all your people. Do you mind if I bring some of your people up here just so people can see it? Of course. Do you mind if you come up here and just show your uniform? Like, I love the fact you're rocking your brand. Everyone around Nuva, right? And we're going to talk. We have this over 80. Do you mind getting there in camera so we can show the outfit and the colors? Like, I'm not being rude. I just want people to see because there's 100 of you over here.
Easily, yeah.
Right?
And they're all wearing,
You doubled down on yourself. You never had to work again. And you sell for $100 million. You had 2 beautiful kids, correct?
4 beautiful daughters.
4 beautiful daughters. Okay, I knew you had 2. We're going to talk about that. Tell everybody what Nuva is and what it does. I think it's the best technology out there, thermostat-wise, in the country for any homeowner. I know I'm going to have them installed in my house. Thank you. I just got to find out who my HVAC company's going to be.
We'll get you connected. Sure. What is Nuva? Like the simplest way I could put it is, I found out that there was a survey out there that most homeowners, if you ask them what brand air conditioning system they have at their house, the vast majority of people say it's Honeywell. And us as contractors know that Honeywell has never made a piece of equipment. So the only reason why they say Honeywell,
thermostat?
Yeah, the only reason why they say Honeywell is because of the thermostat. So what I wanted to do is give that branding power back to the contractor. So we don't care about a Honeywell. We don't care if it's a Nuva logo. We don't want contractors, consumers to know it's a Nuva thermostat. We want them to always go to the service provider, which is our contractors, which is our client, our client in Nuva. And what we've done is not only did we put their logo on the thermostat, we made it an easy call to action. We just announced a huge integration with ServiceTitan where they're going to be able to dispatch a technician from the thermostat, dispatch a technician from the app. Now you're going to be able to talk to the thermostat because I put a microphone and 2 speakers in there. You're going to say, name it for however you want. These guys are getting really creative on what they're naming their thermostat. So we have a customer that named it Trio. Hey, Trio, can you send a plumber? My water heater's not working. Talking to the thermostat, it'll dispatch all the way to your capacity board on service site, and the technician shows up to your door without ever touching a CSR.
So I really want people to understand how this technology works. If you own an HVAC company, you're insane not to have your technology. I'm not saying that because I'm friends with you. Like I never had I don't think you even drink though, right? Yeah, so I never had a drink with you. I never had dinner with you even, right? Like, but I have a lot of respect for you because you're self-made. Yeah, from the industry. From the industry, but when you see someone hustle and trying to do the right things, I think whether you compete with them, I don't compete with anyone, but when you're in the same field, you have a lot of respect for people that keep doing it, right? Like, of course. And I saw your technology, and I was not expecting it. When Travis showed me what it did, and then you showed me yesterday again, which we got to talk about Travis Ree, one of the best people you'll ever meet in your life.
He's my co-founder on this.
Yeah, he's just an amazing individual. Guys, this thermostat, so we spend all this money on marketing. Like, this is what I don't understand. It's like such an easy sell. I wish I was your partner, right? Because I know what this company's going to go for, the evaluation, right? I see it coming. This thermostat, you spend all this money on marketing to get into the hole.
Yep.
To get into the hole. Like, I told Travis, and you're not going to believe me, if I owned an HVAC company, I would install
in every system
for free.
Of course.
I wouldn't give shit. What's it cost? $200-300 on average?
$249. And what our best contractors are doing now, Lance, they're giving them away in every single shop.
Well, think about why wouldn't you? We just saw a cost on average for the average contractor, $2,400 to show up at a door. That's what ServiceTitan just laid out today. So you're spending $2,400, not 10% to keep your customer.
Forever.
Because this is the problem. Nobody remembers who did your roof. No one remembers who did your air conditioning. That you might remember Matty or Johnny, the painting guy, that is really nice, but the contractor that comes out and does your plumbing, HVAC, roofs, they're not people you remember.
They're not.
So this, when I saw it work, and it was, and it does it, well, the nice part I like is two things. It notifies the HVAC company, so now I can reach out to the customer and be proactive. Hey, Ishmael, before you get home tonight, I just want to let you know your air conditioning, there's a problem with it, it's not working. Would you like me to have a tech out there today to fix that for you, Ishmael?
Without ever touching Google.
I know, but you already paid for the customer acquisition.
Exactly.
So now my customer acquisition just went down that much more because I'm a repeat customer that I probably wouldn't have had if a very good chance I would not have had if the thermostat's not in there.
The same behavior happens every single time, Lance, and this is the biggest impact we're having in the industry, and this is why this company's, worth over $80 million on our first startup year. Why? Because we're changing that one behavior. When the customer needs us, they go to their thermostat, they mess around with it, it doesn't work. What's the first thing they do? They grab their phone and they go on Google, AC company near me. Hey, my AC is not turning on. We took that little behavior and changed it to, oh, there's a provider there. You know where I got it from? This is how simple my mind works. From ADT. The alarm company. Look, you go to your panel and it has an ADT logo on the top right-hand corner. If you click the logo, it gives you a 1-800 number. So, okay. But if you cover that logo and you need something, what are you going to do? You're going to grab your phone and put alarm company near me. And then you're back on Google's. That's why we were wearing those shirts yesterday. I don't know if you saw it.
I said Google, I saw that.
It said F Google.
Yeah, you're a little bit more brazen than people.
That was, you should have seen how many orders of those shirts we got already, man. Everybody was texting me pictures of it.
So the one thing you are is you're controversial at times. I think you know that. You always. And I have a lot of respect for you. You're controversial, but I told my leadership team this about you, and I think I gave you what I believe is the ultimate compliment. I've never seen someone bet on themselves as much as you, and you go all in. Like, you're willing to go broke to become rich. Now, most people don't have that mindset. And if you talk about that mindset, that's what makes you different than everyone else. Like, you're almost like, fuck it, man. Like, let's let it rip at every moment.
Because I have the mentality, Lance, of like, what's the worst case scenario for me? And this is what I want contractors to start thinking about themselves, because most contractors don't have the confidence that I do, and most contractors don't view themselves the way that I view myself. Look, I've learned to love myself in the last years. I learned to respect myself, and I learned to when I believe in something, I always go all in. And this is my mentality. The worst thing that can happen, Lance, right? As long as my beautiful daughters are intact and I have them right next to me, the worst thing that can happen to me is I'm gonna walk into anybody's shop in the United States. I don't care if you're $1 million contractor, or 10 or 100 or $500 million contractor. I'm gonna walk into any shop and I'm gonna say, hey, I want $1 million salary, I want a brand new truck, I want credit card, I want expense, I want this. And who's gonna say no to me? That's the worst thing that can really take you in a home. Okay, so that's the worst thing that can happen. So if that's the worst thing that can happen, why not go all in on the unknown? Why not go all in on the unknown? That's the worst that can happen to me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about this, right? You have a big immigrant following. Big. And you care about the immigrant. Like, it's very close to your heart. I see the way you talk about people. I've had private conversations with you, Tom Howard, or like we've had conversations that not to public. And I see the way you care, which I don't think most people see that side of you, just because you got a big personality. Of course,
most of the time I'm in front of a camp, but they don't see the other side of it. Yes. I'm trying to change this fucking industry. Right?
You are. And you, I believe, probably have the biggest immigrant following in the trades. I agree, right? And you care about the immigrants, which I think everyone should. And I believe the immigrants do.
It's 40% of our labor in the construction field. So that's a lot of hundreds of
Canadians. It's about that relationship with them. And you train and you educate and you're constantly trying to help them. I'm not saying you have anything against white people by any means. You don't, because you...
anybody that wants to help. I'm an open book to anybody that wants to help.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors,
Service Titan and Rilla are technology of choice to helping us scale and grow our business and making sure all of our viewers have the technology to scale their business. So when they want to sell it,
Look,
they're able to.
What I've learned what the statistics tell us in the industry, I'm not proud of, because 40% of the overall labor in the trades, out of the 2.3 million contractors in the United States, 40% are Hispanic, Mexican, Latino descent. So only 7% own a business.
That's not good.
And no, that's not good. But it's the limited mindset that they have that I'm just the labor. And that's what I'm trying to change. You're not just the laborers. You're the backbone of every fucking company out there in America. You're just as good as the guy that's owning it. And everybody out there that has the opportunity to grow a business or take a chance and taking that leap, because you've taken it multiple times, owning the business and operating it. Yes, it's not for everybody, but the immigrants and the Hispanic community tend to look at themselves as just the labor. And that's the one thing that I'm trying to change in the industry. We're not just the labor, lads. We're not just and we're not going to continue to be the labor. We are going to become CEOs. We are going to become entrepreneurs in the industries. We are going to become a respected source inside the trades, because guess what? In the next 5, 10, 15 years, we're going to be the majority of the labor inside the
100%. I think you'll be there before 5 years, not 10, 15. But it seems like the appreciation from, and obviously I'm in the roofing space heavily, as you know, which is heavily almost, I'd be willing to bet you roofers is probably 80% immigrants of the work Hispanic, right? And they are, when I use the word they, I'm not saying it in a negative way, it's the most respectful, faithful, appreciative people I've ever met, and they're so happy for the work.
That's all we want.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And then I get other people that they're not appreciative of the work, they're demanding, they're ignorant, they're fighting, they don't want to pay their people, their crews. And I know faith is a big deal. And I'm not, the podcast is not about faith, but I think faith is important to me, that I'm very, it seems like in the immigrant community, I feel like a problem in America, a lot of people have lost their faith, right? You see someone get shot and it's on Facebook and people are making negative comments. People are just trying to be polarized, cancel people. Can you talk about why faith has guided you? And I believe it's a big path for the immigrants, and why I believe the immigrants are going to win the humanity fight here in America.
Look, Hispanics in general, and especially Mexicans, we are raised in Mexico to be, Christian Catholic, and from our very beginnings, our mothers and our fathers teach us that the Lord is our Savior and He's helped us, this far. And look, for us to take the chance and cross a border and potentially, die crossing that border, because there's been millions of people that die crossing that border. The only thing that we have to get here is faith. The faith of God's going to take care of me and cross that border to be able to come over here. And dude, we're not here to fight with anybody. You've noticed this, the vast majority of Hispanics, Latinos, Mexicans in the industry are just here to work, bro. We just want to make money. We want to make money so our kids could have a good life, so then their kids could have a good life. We're not here for political reasons. We're not here to fight against, Trump or pro-Trump. We're not here for none of that. Dude, we just want to work. We want to work, and we want to be treated with respect. Respect in the Hispanic and the Latino community are really big, let's say. If you start our relationship with any Hispanic with respect, they will forever love you.
Here's a question for you. You got a lot of haters.
Yeah.
Right? And I see some of the comments people make at you and take shots at you. I believe I just had a meet and greet, right? And someone said, why do you think most people aren't successful at social media? And you've seen my brain grow, I've seen your brain grow. I'm happy for you. You've always said you're happy for me, right? We both have the abundance mindset with, hey, why do you think most people stop posting once the hate comes their way? Because you have a ton of haters. I see that just fire. I have a ton of haters, right? I got people from the old neighborhood trying to burn me down now, right? Just because can you talk about why you can't let that get into your mindset and why you got to keep moving on?
I don't let it get to me, because my goal is bigger than that hate that they're trying to get to me. The hate that they're trying to spread out there. My goals are way bigger than that, man. And there's more people that need our help, not just my help, our help, because this industry is not going to change by myself or by yourself. Nope. This industry needs a whole group of good people to change. That goal is so immense that the little noise that people make of like, oh, he's a fraud, he's fake, he doesn't know, whatever, I ignore it, man, because at the end of the day, for every one person that hates me, there's 20,000 people DMing me, Ishmael, because of you of this, because of a video, because of a conversation, because you took the time, because, you flew out to my shop, because, you did a podcast with Lance and I heard this. Because of that, you changed my whole life. For every one hater, there's a 10,000 people that are praying for us to win, man. So keep going. Eh?
It's your success in your journey has been one I got to watch and I enjoyed it. And, you haven't changed. Like, everyone changes. You calm down for sure. Everyone changes. You can't keep growing if you don't change. So, can you talk about this? You're a very loyal guy.
Yes.
Right. I saw your network change since I met you.
Yes.
Your network definitely changed. 100%. Can you talk about why you made your network change? Like, you started hanging with guys like Tom Howard, Tommy Mello. They're not the same kids you grew up with.
No.
Can you talk about why you have to change your network and why you got to be around the right people for you to grow? Because I think it's the most important thing out of anything.
Look, the 7 guys that we call ourselves LSD, and we're just a bunch of young hustlers trying to make money. The reason why I stuck with them is because they were the few people that kept me accountable and that kept challenging me to keep going. The other friends that I had throughout high school and just friends in general that would come in and, oh, let's go party here and let's go party that. And I'm like, bro, like, I don't drink, Brian. Like, I don't party. All I want to do is work and go to the gym and be with my girl. That's all I want to do. So if you're not in that little triangle, I'm sorry, I don't have time for you. But the reason why I stuck with those,
that's not about them. It's about you, but they think it's about them. And they take it personal.
Amen.
It's not about them. Don't party. Don't do your
geez. If that's what you want, go by all means.
Bullshit hater would hate you. I know, because you don't want to do it, and they make it about you and not about them. But you don't make it about them that you don't want to do it.
Ever. They want to do it by themselves. Go ahead and do it. And the reason why I stuck with those guys, like Tommy, like Tom, like Aaron Gaynor, like all those guys, is because they challenge me every fucking day, Lance. Every day there's a new challenge for us. Every day, like yesterday, we were having one of the, once a year, twice a year, we all get together in a restaurant. We shut down the restaurant and we put our phones down and we just like start masterminding on how we could all help each other. And for about an hour, you'll see that there's magic inside that room where the energy that's being, flown in, there's just, it's pretty special. So the only reason why I kept up with them and the only reason why I still hold them close to my heart is because I know that they're never going to sugarcoat anything, and they're never like, oh, Ishmael, you're doing amazing. No, bro, like, Ishmael, you can do better. That's the number one thing. What are you going to do what's going to be different next year from you, Ishmael? What are you going to work on for the next 12 months? What are we going to work on like, there's always something to work on. It's never like, guys, dude, Tommy sold this fucking company for a lot. Tom's about to do his for it. I did my Travis, like, we all done well for ourselves. And we all keep showing up for each other and challenging each other of like, hey, what's next?
It's funny. What is next? Like, people ask me, I was on a call busting your chops with R the other day. You were like, everyone's busting. I was like, well, I'm the only one on the phone that sold 6 companies here. I busted people. I was like, but you figure out what's next real fast for you on purpose. Like, you ran the Nuva, and at what point in time did you say, because you better, like you'll say I'm broke, and I know you're not joking, not that you are broke if you're not broke, but you leveraged your own money to build it big time, and you went all in on yourself again. And your evaluation, I know it's a ballpark. I'm assuming it's about 80 to 100 million right now.
Right now it is.
I mean, that's in what side of 2 years?
First year.
Jesus Christ. That's what I'm talking about. But you bet on yourself and you put a lot of your own money in.
Yep.
Can you talk about that mindset and what made you run the Nuva? I mean, clearly the technology is amazing.
The only reason why I didn't get back into the contracting is, number one, I have a non-compete, which I respect, which I could have gotten, with the right lawyers, I could have gotten off. But I know we went to your company again. And then my image goes this way, and that's important to me. But number two, the reason why I went to the SaaS model is because once people start educating themselves on what multiples of ARR and EBITDA is, it's a whole different ballgame, baby boy. Like, once you're, it's hard to produce $2 to $5 million or $10 million of EBITDA. Like, you gotta be a badass. We produced $10.4 million at Next-Gen for our EBITDA, right? Like, that was excruciating hard. On the SaaS model, it's a marketing and sales game.
Hell, it is. It's funny because you say you produced 10 million And every company I've sold has been between 3 million and 5 million in EBITDA. Like that's my sweet spot. I tell people I'm not going above. Like I'm very transparent with people, and it is hard. I keep doing it, and people are like,
3 million's hard, Lance. I don't know what you're talking about. 3 to 5 million is excruciating hard.
it is, but it's a lot easier than 10.
Oh yeah, it is. Get it?
And so, like, you're taking cash sweeps off when you sell 6 companies now for hundreds of millions, you're taking cash sweeps off every time. Instead of you, when you did it for the one transaction, God forbid something goes fucking wrong and you don't transact. I have a buddy of mine that, he's down in Florida and he got offered $41 million for his company. And I said, take it. And he's like, hey, he didn't take it. I think I can ride it out for another year. Guess what his next 4 months were like? Shit. And he's like, Lance, what do I do? I'm like, there's nothing you can do now. You're starting over on your 12-month run. And like, it just doesn't work that way, man. You cannot go backwards. Like sometimes you got to take what you get and move on.
Because guess what? Now you're at a different stepping stool.
When you listen, and I have a coaching group, and I have masterminds. I always ask people, would you take 10 million for a company? And some people are like, I don't know. I'm like, show me 10 million in your bank account. Exactly. And no one's been able to show me exactly in your bank account. Bro, now you're not in my mastermind, but you got us. And there you will. But how do you not take 10 million? It's generational wealth if you do the right things with it and keep working.
Yes, bro. Look, I'm at the opportunity, like Nuva. I'll give you a perfect example. Nuva. If somebody came here and offered me the right money right now, I'm going to take it. You know why? Because tomorrow's not promised.
It's not promised, and you got to take chips off the table.
Yes, bro. Always.
Listen, the one thing you're good at is relationships. Listen, our relationship has always been, you busted my balls, which I appreciate. I knew it, but you never said anything offensive. It's always just like busting balls. I want to be like you, Lance. Give me a mic. It's joking around stuff, right? Can you talk to me about why relationships are so important, just for the overall of your life and who you're around in your mindset?
Okay, because there becomes up a stage in your life where, like, the money that you're making, whether you're reporting $1 or $5 or $10 million of EBITDA, is only one relationship away on the next step. That's what the one thing that I learned once you get to a certain scale, even if you're at a lower scale. Like, if I would have never bumped into Tom Howard and he would have never educated me, I wouldn't have never sold Next Gen. That was a relationship that I value. If I would have never bumped into all of these guys that, we call it's a small group of us. If I didn't bump into those guys, I would have never saw that I could potentially be worth $1 billion here in the next couple of years, or Tommy could be worth a couple. Like, we would have never saw, because like everybody was trying to do it on their own. Now that we're all in one big group and we're one relationship away, dude, everybody that's listening, you are one relationship away from a generational wealth of lifetime.
It's funny because me and Tom Howard are partners, as you know. Yeah. And we became partners just through having matching American flag bathing suits. Yeah, that's why. And that's how it started. I saw his bathing suit, it matched mine. Didn't know who he was. This about 5 years ago. I said, I love your bathing suit. I love patriotism. I think it's the best country in the world, right? And we talked, became friends. He came and watched me speak. I came and watched him speak. We stayed in touch, became friends. And after just years of knowing each other, we're like, hey, you want to be partners? Oh, yeah, let's go do this. And obviously, that company's very trans. It's like,
that's how fast.
But it was never meant that way in the beginning.
Although,
and,
so the best relationship,
they are, because they're meaningful with nobody wanting anything. It just turns into,
there's no expectations at that level of relationships. Just like, I don't expect you to do anything for me. You don't expect me to do anything for you. But that relationship's pure. That's one of the dopest relationships you could have.
If somebody wanted to partner with you, Ishmael, because I think you have a lot to offer still to the trades. Is your non-compete nationwide?
No. It's over in 7 months.
Well, I can tell you this. If you don't know who Ishmael is, you guys might want to look him up, because he'd be a great partner for you to have to take your company from a few million to 20 to 30 million and sell it, right? You have the playbook, you know it. Ish, I'm going to show you a few more questions, Ish, I think it's important. You're a marketing guy. You love marketing. I think that's what made you successful. I've got to listen to you speak multiple times about marketing. I'm like, he gets it. Why is marketing so important to your business?
Because if nobody knows you, it doesn't matter. Listen to me. It simplifies everything. Jesus. Well, not talking to church. I can never, look, I believe my EQ is really good, and I believe my IQ is really low, whether people want to see it or not. When people interact with me or when people ask me a question, I just simplify to what I know. Like, if you're not going to invest into marketing, people aren't going to know you. And if they don't know you, you don't exist. Like, look, with all this AI coming out, the name is easy. The name of the game is easy.
It has gotten a lot easier.
Marketing and sales, baby.
That's all it is.
That's all it's going to be. That's all it's going to be.
Here's a question for you, though. You invest into your personal brand.
Yes.
Heavily. Like I do. I invest more into my personal brand than I do anything else.
Yeah, because it feeds Nuva.
And it's funny you say that. It feeds LB Capital, my personal brand, all my partnerships. And if you do the right, and you can't please everybody when you're building a brand, dude. 50% of it, actually 6, choose a side. You got to choose a side. That's my side is the money-making side. So if you don't want to be a money maker, hate on me.
I'm not here for I'm not here for political views.
I don't even talk politics.
You know, talk about women and how you should treat them. I'm not here for none of that. I am a businessman. I'm here to make money. If you want to be on that team, cool. And if you want to be on the non-business, go on that side. There's a place for you too.
Let's talk about this. Young kid has a decision to make.
Yep.
I go to college, I take $200,000 in debt, or do I go work at a HVAC, a roofing company, plumbing company for 20 years?
Plumbing.
Just go right in.
Plumbing. Start at plumbing because the plumbing will teach you the fundamentals of everything. And then you go into HVAC, electrical, roofing, whatever you want. But the best trade, hands down for me, you know, and obviously you're a roofing guy and you can contest to it. For me, I will live and die on the plumbing cross from now on.
You know, as I don't disagree, I don't have a preference in trade. I've been in painting, I've been in HVAC, I've been in roofing.
I love plumbing, man.
Roofing for me is just, that's where I'm at right now. It's just where I'm at right now. It's just where I'm at, and it's been very good.
So you know what helped you the most? And I don't think people realize, you're a fucking sales machine, bro. You're a selling machine. You are sales oriented. You are selling, like you are sell. Of course, you're a marketer. Of course, you have the fundamentals of the business side of it, just like I do. But I stay on my lane. I'm a CMO, baby. CMO.
I'm a salesman, but
You are CRO. You know what I'm saying? You are revenue push. Let's go. Let's kick out
100%. And I'm
CMO at heart, baby.
I believe everything is sales. I believe I sold my wife to get her. If you ever seen her, I've upgraded drastically. Do you know, like everybody in your team, and you have to. Like, I'm a salesman. But I have no problem saying that. Like, I have no problem saying I'm a salesman.
Yep.
I deliver, though.
You're an extremely good communicator. That's a joy.
I try to communicate well. That doesn't always come out that way. But I do try. I try to be respectful.
Yep.
I try to let people know I care, which I really do. And I deliver, right? When I tell someone I'm partner with them, I deliver. I sell the company, I build it. Has there been some challenges along the way? And people don't understand that you're going to have failures. Let's talk about that because I've had failures. You've had failures. And I see these fucking parents, and I'm going to give you an example, right? My football team's 0-3 this year for my son. Both my sons, right? But I don't care. Do you think I care? Because there's days when you lose at work every day. And I'm fortunate I got great parents on my football team. I'm fortunate. No bad has happened. But on some of these other football teams around winning, the parents are going crazy. And I'm like, what makes you think your child deserves to win? Like, don't you think a little adversity is good for your kid? Can you talk about that?
Man, look, man, if we can teach our kids to be comfortable with rejection and to be comfortable with failing, we will have the best generation in the world. Because right now, we're teaching them instant gratification and winning is all that matters, when we should be teaching them confidence, getting comfortable with failure, and getting comfortable with getting rejected. If we teach those 3 fundamentals, they will be the strongest generation to come.
So I'll tell you a funny story because, I love my sons. It's tremendous. I'm always with them. LJ was struggling with school, with the football team, and he never played for this team before. And he's like, Dad, I'm not sure it's going to happen. Because will you talk to the coach? I'm like, absolutely not. He's like, what? I'm like, son, listen to me. That coach wants to win. You got to talk to that coach. If you have a positive attitude on that sideline, if you're not playing, and when you go in and you make the most of it being positive, I promise you, son, you're so talented, that coach is going to want to put you in. And needless to say, he started on both sides of the ball. He plays full games now. And I'm like, son, do you see how it worked out? And the worst thing you'd want to know is that dad could come in and arrest you. That's the worst thing. You got to do this when I'm gone, kid. And I said to my wife, because my wife's like, are you going to talk to the coach? I'm like, fuck no, I ain't talking to the coach. He asked it. My wife was a diver, a state medalist. Babe, you learned how to fail. You learned how to, who was talking for you?
Nobody. That's why she's that good, though.
No doubt.
And that's what you got to learn. You have to, man. You have to. Look, the one thing I've instilled into my daughters is like, I try to mirror what I want them to get treated. Meaning, if you ever see me around my daughters, I'm always served. I'm always cleaning after them. I'm always, what else can I do for you? I love you. Do you need this? Can I get you water? Have you ate? Like, I'm always, just offering, because that's how I want a man to serve it. And that's what we got to do as parents. We got to mirror what we want our kids to look, to expect from other human beings.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, to have an HVAC company, you got to go check out Nuva. It's the best technology out on the market. I don't think there's one better. I'm not saying because I have so much respect for you.
Thank you, bro.
I look at technology pieces all day long.
Yep.
And Nuva, by far, is the number one piece of technology I've seen that's a game changer. If you own a contracting company and you're paying for marketing, that's a no-brainer. So how do you feel get a hold of you, Ishmael?
Go on nuvahome.com if you guys want to learn about Nuva. If you guys want to know my social media, it's Ismael Valdez, CEO. On Instagram, on Facebook, I have a private social media group where we mentor and we teach HVAC and plumbing and electrical contractors on how to operate their business, called Nuva Networks Group on Facebook. So, look, I'm an open book, man, just like you.
Thank you so much for making the time. I know you're busy. I appreciate your relationship and I appreciate
Congrats on everything, guys. You're fucking killing that, bro.
Thank you, man.